One-piece flow. One-piece flow is really at the heart of lean. And I know I say this with a lot of things, but one-piece flow is really an imperative part to getting all of the lean parts to function correctly. The idea of one-piece flow is very simple. The idea is that you make one thing at a time, one thing, and you take it from start to finish, right? So you don't want to be making 20 things, and you don't do 20 things of one and move it just partially done, right? Instead, you take one of that 20 and you move all the way from start to completion. This is very important to separate the two. The other method that a lot of people adopt is batch processing. The reasons why you want to use one-piece flow are quite simple. When you use one-piece flow, you avoid making mistakes, right? You might make a defect on your first part that you make, but if you do that in batch processing, you'll make a mistake on 20 parts instead of just one part. A good example I really love to use, and this is something everybody will do, or well, most people will do at some point, is you'll send a mass letter to people, right? You'll invite them to an event or something to that effect, right? If you use one-piece flow effect, it's much faster, right? People take this for granted, but there's something that we do in batch processing, which is called double handling. Double handling is a big waste of time. And that's where you pick up a piece of paper, and maybe you pick it up and you do something to it, and then you put it down. And then the next time you pick it up, that's double handling. But you'll find that anytime you're double handling, if you just continue with the process and don't set the thing down, you will have a much better result, right? You will have fewer defects because you might make a defect on the first letter that you make, but you'll correct and you will do it better on the second letter you make. These are really imperative in one-piece flow and making sure that we do this correctly. One-piece flow also has some other great things about it, like it eliminates a lot of the double handling waste. It also prevents defects. It is also faster because you are focused on the one task at hand. Sometimes in like a manufacturing environment, you can have one-piece flow, but it is in two different stations, right? So you can still do mass production with one-piece flow. And instead, it's just the operator to my left. They make their part, and then they complete it, their section of it. They hand it to me, and now I complete my section. I hand it to the next person, and they complete their section. And that way, you can still keep with the same rate of production, even though you're just finishing a small part of that part to completion. But it's really important that you focus on starting and finishing all in one go, because you have a lot of things where you are ending up trying to set things up, and if you stop doing something, then you will really have a problem later on. This is one of the other areas where you get some benefits, right? If you're doing one-piece flow, you will have it all set up and you will have it done, and you won't have an issue with having multiple setups. Usually setup time is quite lengthy, and it will suck a lot of your time out of your life. So you don't want to be setting up to do things multiple times. You want to be doing it once, and you want to go from start to finish. A good example is this video course. I actually set this up, and I started shooting in the morning, and I will shoot all the way into the evening because, I don't want to stop doing video recording. I want to continue with this as much as I can because I don't want to have to set it up tomorrow, right? All that setup time just robs me of time, right? Setting up twice, that's just wasted time and setup. So those are some of the things you need to keep in mind when you're doing one-piece flow, is trying not to set things up, not putting things down, focusing on completing, right? And then doing one thing at a time. One example I also love to give is I call it one-piece baby flow. I do this in the morning, every morning. I have 2 toddlers, and they keep me really busy. And I am able to get 2 children out the door in my car in like 18 minutes. And this is because I use One Piece Baby Flow. It's quite simple. Each morning, I get my son up, I pick him up, I put him on the changing station, change his diaper, get him ready, I take him downstairs and I put him in the car seat, I prepare to put him in the car. And that is basically, he's been taken from being asleep to being ready to go, all without me setting him down, all without me letting him go and play, all without me letting him cause some trouble elsewhere, right? This is how I do this, is I'm able to make sure that they are focused on getting out the door. Then I come upstairs with my older daughter and I get her ready. So at this point, I get her up, I don't set her down, I actually change her, get her into her clothing, get her ready for school, take her in to see her mom, and her mom does her hair. This is where non-utilized talent comes into play. Her mom is very good at doing her pigtails, so I said, you know what, I don't have that talent, I'm gonna leave that to her. I let her handle doing the pigtails, and then once her pigtails are in, I take her downstairs and we immediately get in the car, right? There may have been some wasted time in there where she was getting her pigtails done by her mom and I'm waiting. During that waiting time, I actually go downstairs, I take my son, put him in the car, because I'll be bringing my daughter right down to put her in the car, and then I will actually bring her down and put her in the car, and we will head off to school. This is how you get 2 toddlers out the door in 18 minutes. I don't know who else can do that, but I can. So this is the power of lean though, because I have really kind of taken this task and I've said, okay, I'm going to One Piece Flow and make sure I'm doing this to completion. And you will find that if you do the same with your life, whether you are taking care of babies or whether you are launching websites or whether you are making manufacturing facilities, you know, this is applicable anywhere. So make sure you implement One Piece Flow in everything you do. And just look at one of your processes and ask yourself, am I doing One Piece Flow? Am I saying this down multiple times? Am I starting to do something and then walking away and then coming back to it? No, you should not be doing that. Avoid it because it's just waste. So make sure you sit down, do something to completion, and then carry on. That's One Piece Flow. Do it.